In the year 2245, the Grand Hall of the Galactic Assembly shimmered with opulence, a stark contrast to the murmur of discontent that rippled through the audience. Delegates from the most powerful alien empires filled the vast space, their varied forms and colors showcasing the diversity of the galaxy. Holographic displays illuminated the room, highlighting their collective might. But one image stood out, a relic from a bygone era. The *US Legacy *. Captain Elara Stone stood at the center of the hall, her heart pounding as she faced the assembly. The *Legacy *, an old Terran warship once renowned for its valor, had been relegated to the status of a museum piece. Its battered hull, now an array of patched-up plating and faded insignia, was juxtaposed against the sleek, advanced warships of other races. Elara felt the weight of history pressing down on her shoulders as she prepared to defend her ship and her crew. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, her voice steady despite the murmurs of derision. The *US Legacy * is more than a relic. It is a symbol of human resilience and courage. It has faced challenges that would have shattered lesser fleets. We are here to show you that humanity still has a place in this galaxy. A cacophony of laughter erupted from the crowd. An alien ambassador with luminescent skin and multiple eyes waved a dismissive appendage. "A museum piece, Captain. Look at it. The only battles it sees now are in history books. You'd do better sending a cargo ship into battle than that antique." Elara clenched her jaw, anger flaring within her. This was the attitude that had long marginalized humanity, reduced to a mere footnote in the annals of galactic history. "Underestimate us at your own peril," she retorted, her eyes narrowing. The *Legacy * may be old, but it carries the experience of countless battles. We can still fight. Just then, a loud alert blared through the assembly hall, drowning out the laughter. Holographic displays flickered to life, revealing the chaos of a nearby colony under siege by the Graphic Empire, a ruthless faction known for its merciless conquests. The room fell silent, the gravity of the situation sinking in as images of destruction filled the air. "This is not a drill," a voice boomed over the speakers. "Graphic forces are attacking Colony 47. Immediate assistance required." Elara seized the moment. "This is our chance. The *Legacy * can respond. We are ready to assist." A few delegates exchanged nervous glances, but the mocking laughter had vanished. They faced a dilemma: continue to scoff at the humans, or accept their help against a common threat. Elara's heart raced as she noticed some leaders leaning in, their expressions shifting from ridicule to consideration. "Do you truly believe that antiquated ship can stand against the Graphic?" The ambassador sneered, but this time his voice lacked conviction. "Watch us," Elara replied defiantly. She turned to her crew, a mix of seasoned veterans and eager newcomers. "Prepare for immediate deployment. We may be seen as a relic, but we have something no one else does: our tenacity." As they raced to their ship, Elara felt a surge of determination. She was no longer fighting for validation, but for survival. The *US Legacy * was not just a warship. It was a testament to human endurance, a symbol that could prove everyone wrong. In the face of overwhelming odds, they would show the galaxy what it truly meant to be human. With a shudder, the ship's engines roared to life, and the crew readied for the jump into the fray. The laughter of the assembly echoed in her mind, but it would soon be replaced by the sound of battle, a sound that would resonate through the stars. The US Legacy surged forward, its ancient engines humming with life as they made the jump to warp. Elara stood at the helm, her heart racing, both with anticipation and fear. Around her, the bridge crew worked in a flurry of activity, fingers dancing across consoles as they checked systems long deemed obsolete by most of the galaxy. "Status report," Elara commanded, her voice cutting through the tension. "Engines at full power," responded Lieutenant Rhea, her eyes glued to the readouts. "Weapon systems are operational, though we're running on reserves. Shields are functional, but may not withstand a sustained assault." Ilara nodded, absorbing the information. The ship's vintage weaponry was more familiar to her than modern tech, and she felt a pang of pride for the legacy and its storied past. We'll make do. We're not just facing the graphic. We're fighting for our place in this galaxy. Suddenly, the warp tunnel dissolved around them, and the chaos of Colony 47 exploded into view. The landscape was a horrifying tableau of destruction. Graphic ships, sleek and menacing, hovered over the colony, unleashing a relentless barrage of fire. Explosions lit up the sky, sending plumes of smoke spiraling into the atmosphere. Deploying visual feeds to the main screen, Rhea announced as the grim scene played out before them. Ilara's stomach twisted at the sight of helpless civilians scrambling for cover. "Com, open a channel to the colony," Ilara ordered. "We need to coordinate our efforts." "Channel open," said Ensign Malik, his fingers flying over the console. "Colony 47, this is Captain Ilara Stone of the U.S. Legacy. We're on approach and ready to assist. What's your status?" A crackling voice came through, strained and desperate. "Captain, we're being overwhelmed. The Grathak are targeting civilians. We can't hold out much longer." "Hold tight. We're coming in hot," Ilara shouted, her heart pounding. "Rhea, plot a course through the asteroid field on their flank. We can use it for cover." "Course plotted," Rhea replied, adrenaline coursing through her veins, adjusting shields to maximum strength. As they maneuvered into the asteroid field, the ship rocked from incoming fire. Ilara gripped the console, her knuckles white. "Divert all power to forward shields. We can't let them see us coming." "Diverting power now," Rhea called, her focus unwavering. The ship shuddered as they absorbed the impacts, but the Legacy pressed on, weaving through the asteroids like a dancer in a deadly ballet. "Enemy ships have spotted us," Malik warned. "They're engaging." Ilara's mind raced as she strategized. "Hold steady, everyone. Wait for my mark." The bridge was tense, the crew's breathing synchronized with the ship's movements. They edged closer to the Grathak ships, their sleek forms silhouetted against the chaos. Just then, an idea sparked in Ilara's mind. "Prepare to fire on my command. Aim for the central command ship." "Firing solution ready," Rhea reported, her eyes glinting with determination. "Now," Ilara shouted. A volley of fire erupted from the Legacy, beams of energy arcing through the void and striking the Grathak command ship. The impact was explosive, sending debris cascading into the void. The crew cheered, but Ilara knew they couldn't let up. "Focus fire on the surrounding ships. We need to create a path for the civilians," she commanded. As the battle raged, Ilara felt a surge of hope. This was not just a fight for survival. It was a chance to reclaim their place in the galaxy. With every shot fired and every maneuver executed, the crew transformed from the dismissed to the feared. The laughter that had echoed in the assembly hall now seemed like a distant memory, replaced by the determination to prove themselves. The tide was turning, and Ilara could feel it. This battle would change everything. As the battle intensified, the U.S. Legacy danced among the asteroids, its hull reverberating with the impacts of enemy fire. Ilara Stone stood at the helm, heart racing, but clarity filled her mind. Each movement of the ship was instinctual, a blend of old-school tactics and fresh ingenuity. Her crew, once filled with doubt, now radiated determination, their eyes alight with purpose. "Captain, we've got incoming Grathak fighters," Rhea shouted, her voice steady despite the chaos around them. "Deploy countermeasures," Ilara ordered, "and let's show them what the Legacy can do." The crew sprang into action, activating the ship's antiquated defensive systems. A series of flares shot out, illuminating the dark expanse and drawing fire away from the ship. With a sudden burst of adrenaline, Ilara maneuvered the Legacy into a narrow gap between two massive asteroids, narrowly avoiding a volley of Grathak plasma blasts. "Maintain shields at 80%, she called out, sweat beading on her brow. We need to get to that command ship and take it out. As they sped through the debris, Ilara remembered a time when the Legacy was at the forefront of human exploration and warfare. Its hallways had once echoed with the laughter of a proud crew, and its battles were legendary. But now, the ship felt like a ghost of its former self. Until now, the very technology that had been dismissed as obsolete was proving to be their saving grace. "Captain, I'm picking up something on the scanners." Malik's voice cut through her thoughts. An old weapons module in the ship's archives. A torpedo system. It might still be operational. Ilara's heart raced. Get it online. If we can manage to fire those torpedoes, we might just cripple that command ship. With urgency, the crew worked together, tapping into the ship's legacy systems. Ria's fingers flew over her console as she accessed the ship's ancient schematics, uncovering the cache of forgotten weaponry. "I'm running diagnostics now, Captain. It's going to take a moment." "Do it," Ilara urged, her gaze fixed on the chaos outside. The Grathak forces were regrouping, preparing for a final assault that could spell doom for the colony. "We don't have time." Just then, the Legacy shuddered as a blast from a Grathak fighter struck the shields. The lights flickered and alarms blared. Ilara gritted her teeth, focusing on the task at hand. "Hold steady, everyone. We can't back down now." "Diagnostics complete," Ria announced, her voice ringing with relief. "The torpedo system is online and ready." "Lock onto that command ship," Ilara commanded, adrenaline surging through her veins. "Fire on my mark." The crew worked in sync, their confidence growing with each moment. The Legacy's targeting system, though archaic, came alive, aligning with the command ship hovering in the distance. Ilara could see the chaos it caused, a hub of destruction, dictating the movements of its fleet. "Target locked," Ria shouted, "ready to fire." "Now," Ilara bellowed. A brilliant flash erupted from the Legacy, and the torpedoes streaked through space like a comet, leaving a trail of light. It collided with the Grathak command ship in a spectacular explosion that lit up the void. Ilara felt a rush of exhilaration as the enemy vessel erupted in flames, debris scattering in every direction. The remaining Grathak ships hesitated, confusion rippling through their ranks. Seizing the moment, Ilara called out, "Push forward. Let's drive them back." As the Legacy surged ahead, the crew's cheers filled the bridge. They had done it, using the remnants of a bygone era to turn the tide of battle. The laughter of the assembly hall faded into the background, replaced by the unity of a crew proving their worth against overwhelming odds. In that moment, the U.S. Legacy was no longer a museum piece. It was a weapon of hope, a symbol of humanity's resilience. Ilara knew that this battle was just the beginning. They were reclaiming their place in the galaxy, one strike at a time. As the remnants of the Grathak command ship drifted into the void, a new energy surged through the U.S. Legacy. The crew's morale soared as they witnessed the enemy's hesitation, a flicker of hope igniting in their hearts. Ilara Stone stood at the helm, adrenaline still pumping through her veins. They had faced the Grathak and emerged victorious. But there was no time to celebrate. The fight was far from over. "Captain, the remaining Grathak fighters are regrouping," Ria reported, her fingers flying over the controls. "They're setting up for a counterattack." Ilara nodded, her mind racing. "We need to gather intelligence. We can't just scatter them. We must know their weaknesses. Malik, can you tap into their communications?" "On it, Captain," Malik replied, diving into the console, his brow furrowed with concentration. The silence in the bridge felt heavy as they awaited results, the outside chaos punctuating their focus. "Got it," Malik exclaimed a moment later. "I'm picking up fragmented communications. It seems like they're coordinating a massive strike against the colony itself. They're planning to bomb civilian shelters." "Not on our watch," Ilara declared, a fierce determination filling her voice. "We can't let that happen. We need to disable their command structure." Rhea, still at her console, glanced back at Ilara. There's a chance we can use the asteroid field to our advantage. If we can lure them in, we could cause a chain reaction that disrupts their formations. Then that's what we'll do, Ilara replied, a spark of excitement igniting in her chest. Rhea, plot a course into the asteroid field. Let's make them think we're retreating. Malik, keep an eye on their communications, and let us know the moment they take the bait. With the crew working in unison, the Legacy sped toward the jagged rocks, weaving in and out of the looming asteroids. The strategy required nerves of steel. One miscalculation could mean disaster. Captain, they're closing in, Malik warned, eyes darting between screens. They've fallen for it. They're coming after us. Hold your fire until I give the signal, Ilara instructed, her voice steady. We need to time this perfectly. The Legacy darted through the field, the asteroids looming larger. Ilara's heart raced as she felt the tension building in the crew. Each moment stretched, filled with the anticipation of what was to come. Just as they rounded a massive asteroid, Ilara caught sight of the approaching Galactic fighters, dozens of them, all focused on the fleeing ship. Now, she shouted, and the crew unleashed a barrage of fire. The asteroids around them erupted into chaos as Galactic ships collided with rocks, their formations breaking apart in a spectacular display of destruction. Look out! Rhea cried, pulling the ship sharply to the right as debris from a destroyed enemy vessel careened towards them. The Legacy swerved, narrowly avoiding the falling wreckage. Great reflexes, Ilara called, a grin breaking through her tension. Keep pushing forward. With the Galactic forces disoriented and reeling from their losses, Ilara seized the opportunity to target the remaining command ships. They had to dismantle the enemy's ability to coordinate effectively. Lock onto that lead ship, Ilara commanded, her eyes gleaming with determination. Let's finish this. As they focused their fire, the crew cheered in unison, their faith in the old ship growing with every blast. The Legacy with its outdated technology and battle-worn hull, was becoming something more, a symbol of humanity's spirit and ingenuity. Captain, Malik shouted, barely containing his excitement. They're in disarray. Their communications are down. We've crippled their coordination. Ilara felt a rush of pride. Then let's deliver the final blow. All weapons, fire at will. With renewed vigor, the Legacy unleashed its fury, beams of light slicing through the darkness. Each strike was a declaration that humanity was no longer a joke, but a force to be reckoned with. As the Galactic fleet began to fall apart, Ilara couldn't help but feel a swell of hope. The galaxy was watching, and they were ready to change its perception of humanity forever. As the U.S. Legacy continued its relentless assault on the disoriented Galactic fleet, Ilara felt the exhilaration of victory coursing through her veins. The tide was shifting, but she knew they couldn't afford to get complacent. With the remaining Galactic ships scrambling to regain their footing, Ilara seized the opportunity to push forward. Malik, what's the status on the remaining enemy forces? She asked, her eyes locked on the swirling chaos outside. Malik's fingers flew over the console. Looks like about 20 fighters are still operational, Captain. They're attempting to regroup, but they're scattered. We can exploit their disarray. Ilara's mind raced. We need to hit their command ships hard while they're still trying to coordinate. Rhea, target the closest command vessel. Locking on, Rhea replied, her brow furrowed in concentration. Weapons primed and ready. On my mark, Ilara commanded, adrenaline sharpening her focus. They were about to unleash everything they had. Captain, Malik interrupted, his voice tense. I'm picking up a distress signal from Colony 47. They're overwhelmed. We need to assist them before the Galactic decide to bombard the shelters. Damn it, Ilara cursed, the weight of responsibility heavy on her shoulders. The colony's survival hinged on their actions, and every moment counted. Rhea, hold fire on that command ship. Malik, Can you feed the colony coordinates to us? Already on it, Malik replied, determination shining in his eyes. I'm patching through their comms. As the channel opened, the frantic voice of the colony's commander echoed through the bridge. Legacy. We're being overwhelmed. Civilians are trapped in shelters. Please, we need backup now. Ilara's heart raced. We're on our way, she promised, her resolve solidifying. Rhea, chart a course to the civilian shelters. We'll draw the Grathak away from their target. Setting course now. Rhea confirmed, her fingers dancing over the controls. The Legacy shifted direction, engines roaring as they sped towards the colony. Malik, keep monitoring their communications. I want to know the moment they start mobilizing towards the shelters, Ilara instructed. Got it. Malik responded, his eyes fixed on the screens. I'll keep track of their movements. As they neared the colony, the sight was harrowing. The once vibrant structures were now crumbling under fire, civilians fleeing in every direction. Panic filled the air, and Ilara felt a deep sense of urgency. Activate the loudspeaker, she commanded. We need to reassure the civilians. With a click, her voice rang out across the colony. This is Captain Ilara Stone of the US Legacy *. We're here to provide support. Follow our instructions, and you'll be safe. The crew turned their attention to the approaching Grathak forces, their ships regrouping and preparing for another strike. Ilara could see the determined glint in her crew's eyes. This was their moment to truly shine. Prepare to engage, she shouted. Rhea, divert all power to weapons. We're going to draw their fire and protect those civilians. Power diverted, Rhea confirmed, her pulse quickening. As the Legacy * engaged the enemy, the ship roared to life, its weapons firing in rapid succession. The Grathak fighters, sensing the renewed threat, turned their attention towards the Legacy *, their focus shifting from the vulnerable civilians. Now's our chance, Ilara shouted. Stay on their tails and keep firing. We'll lead them away from the shelters. The bridge filled with the sound of cheers as the crew executed Ilara's orders flawlessly. The Legacy * danced through the chaos, evading fire and returning shots with precision. Each explosion sent a shockwave of exhilaration through the crew, their confidence growing with each successful hit. Malik's voice rang out amidst the chaos. Captain, the civilians are evacuating to the designated shelters. We're holding the line. Good. Ilara breathed a sigh of relief. Now let's finish off these Grathak. With renewed energy, the crew pressed forward, determined to protect the colony and reclaim their place in the galaxy. The laughter from the assembly hall had transformed into a rallying cry of hope, unity, and fierce determination. The battle was far from over, but the US Legacy * was no longer a relic. It was a force to be reckoned with, a beacon of humanity's indomitable spirit shining brightly against the darkness. They were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. With the US Legacy holding the line against the Grathak forces, Ilara felt a surge of pride and determination from her crew. They had fought hard, and now they were on the verge of turning the tide for good. The chaos outside was a cacophony of energy blasts and shouts, but within the bridge, focus reigned supreme. Captain, Malik's voice pierced through the tension. The Grathak are pulling back. They're trying to regroup near that large command ship. Ilara turned her attention to the view screen, where the remnants of the Grathak fleet had consolidated into a tight formation. Their command ship looming ominously at the center. The sight filled her with both dread and resolve. If they could take out that command ship, it would likely dismantle the entire Grathak offensive. Rhea, can we calculate a way to penetrate their defenses? Ilara asked, scanning the tactical display for weaknesses. Give me a moment, Rhea replied, her fingers racing over her console. Their formation is tight, but I think if we come at them from the asteroid field, we can slip in undetected. Do it, Ilara commanded, her voice steady. "We need to move fast before they can fortify their position." As the Legacy navigated the treacherous asteroid field, the tension on the bridge was palpable. Each crew member was acutely aware of the stakes. They weren't just fighting for survival. They were fighting for recognition, respect, and a future for humanity among the stars. "Almost there," Rhea murmured, her eyes narrowing in concentration. Ilara watched the enemy formation draw closer. The command ship pulsed ominously, its weapons primed and ready. "Prepare to engage stealth systems," she instructed. "We'll need every advantage we can get." "Stealth systems engaged," Malik confirmed. "We're hidden from their sensors." "Now," Ilara commanded, "let's break through." The Legacy shot forward, the asteroid field acting as their shield. The enemy ships remained blissfully unaware as they maneuvered closer. Ilara's heart pounded as she gripped the controls, navigating through the debris with precision. With each heartbeat, the anticipation grew. This was the moment that could define humanity's place in the galaxy. "Captain, we're in range," Rhea shouted, her voice laced with excitement. "Targeting the command ship. Lock onto their main weapon systems. On my mark, unleash everything we have." Ilara commanded, her mind racing with strategies. The bridge fell into a focused silence as the crew prepared for the pivotal moment. The tension was thick, every eye fixed on the view screen, where the command ship loomed ever closer. Ilara could feel the weight of her crew's expectations resting heavily on her shoulders. "Mark," she shouted. The Legacy asterisk erupted with fire, a brilliant display of weaponry as beams of energy streaked toward the Galactic command ship. The first shot struck true, illuminating the darkness as the ship shuddered from the impact. Explosions rippled across the hull, and Ilara felt a rush of exhilaration. "Direct hit," Rhea cheered, her eyes wide with disbelief. But the command ship wasn't finished yet. It retaliated, firing a massive volley in their direction. Ilara swerved the Legacy asterisk just in time, feeling the vibrations of near misses shudder through the ship. "Stay on them. We can't let up." As they continued to unleash fire on the command ship, the Galactic fleet scrambled to respond, chaos reigning among their ranks. Ilara noticed several smaller ships breaking away, abandoning their posts to assist their flagship. "Rhea, can we exploit that?" Ilara asked, an idea forming. "Absolutely," Rhea replied, her fingers already moving to adjust their strategy. "If we can draw those fighters into the asteroid field again, we can trap them. Let's lead them on a wild goose chase," Ilara said, a fierce grin spreading across her face. "We'll use their own tactics against them." With a series of deft maneuvers, the Legacy asterisk sped toward the asteroid field, luring the pursuing Galactic fighters in after them. The narrow gaps and unpredictable trajectories of the asteroids offered a natural defense. "Now let them come to us," Ilara ordered, her eyes glinting with excitement. "Wait for the right moment." The crew held their breath as the Galactic fighters closed in, their arrogance blinding them to the trap. When the first fighter entered the field, Ilara shouted, "Engage." The Legacy asterisk erupted into action, firing at the first few ships as they became ensnared in the asteroid chaos. The crew worked seamlessly together, their unity palpable as they took down one enemy after another. "This is it," Malik yelled, exhilaration clear in his voice. "We're turning the tide." Ilara felt a rush of pride as the Legacy pushed forward, a once-dismissed relic now a formidable force. They were not just fighting against the Galactic. They were proving to the galaxy that humanity could hold its own among the stars. The battle was fierce, but Ilara knew they were on the brink of something monumental. This was the beginning of a new era for humanity, a moment that would echo through history. The battle raged on, and the U.S. Legacy carved through the chaos with renewed purpose. With the Galactic fleet disoriented and their fighters ensnared in the asteroid field, Ilara felt the tide shifting in their favor. Every blast from their ship was a declaration of humanity's resilience, and she could sense the surge of confidence rippling through her crew. "Captain, the Galactic command ship is taking heavy damage," Rhea announced, her fingers flying across the controls. "It's trying to retreat, but we can cut them off." "Let's not give them a chance," Ilara urged. "Full speed ahead. We need to finish this now." As the Legacy surged toward the wounded command ship, the view screen displayed a flurry of damage and chaos. The once mighty vessel was now limping, its hull riddled with scars from the relentless assault. Ilara's heart raced. This was their moment to end the Galactic threat once and for all. "Lock onto their remaining weapon systems," Ilara commanded. "We can't let them fire back." "Locking on," Rhea confirmed, her voice steady despite the urgency. "Weapons primed." Malik's voice cut in, filled with a mix of excitement and caution. "Captain, their communication systems are still operational. They're sending out a distress signal." "Let them send whatever they want," Ilara replied, her resolve hardening. They chose to attack a colony full of innocent lives. They need to understand the consequences of their actions. As the Legacy drew closer, the command ship unleashed a desperate volley of fire, but the shots were wild and poorly aimed, revealing the panic among its crew. Ilara felt a surge of vindication. The Galactic were realizing the depth of their miscalculation. "Now," Ilara shouted. The Legacy fired, a brilliant beam of energy striking the command ship directly at its weapons array. The impact reverberated through the Legacy *, and the command ship erupted in a flash of light. The shockwave sent debris spiraling into the void, marking the ship's last desperate effort. Direct hit. They're losing power. Rhea cheered, adrenaline pumping through her veins. They can't take much more of this. Press the attack, Ilara ordered, her eyes focused on the screen. Let's finish this once and for all. As they pressed forward, the remaining Galactic fighters, now leaderless and demoralized, began to scatter. Ilara watched with a mix of satisfaction and determination. This was a fight not just for survival, but for dignity. Each fallen enemy represented a reclaiming of humanity's place in the galaxy. "Captain, the command ship is in critical condition," Malik reported, excitement breaking through his usually calm demeanor. "They're starting to evacuate." "Let them go," Ilara replied, a fierce grin on her face. "There'll be a message to their leaders. This is what happens when you underestimate us." But even as the battle raged, a sudden blip appeared on the sensors, drawing Malik's attention. "Captain, new ships entering the area. 3 large vessels. They're Galactic reinforcements." Ilara's heart sank. How did they get here so quickly? "They must have had a nearby base," Malik replied, eyes wide with concern. "We're outnumbered now." "Not if we're smart about this," Ilara said, her mind racing. "We need to pull back to the asteroid field. Let's use it as cover and regroup. We can't let them surround us." Plotting the course, Rhea shouted, urgency infusing her voice. The Legacy turned sharply, heading back into the protective embrace of the asteroids. As they maneuvered, Ilara could see the Galactic reinforcements entering the fray, their sleek ships gliding into position. The situation was turning dire, but Ilara felt a calm determination settle over her. This was not just a battle of firepower. It was also a battle of strategy. "Malik, can you jam their communications?" Ilara asked. "I can try," Malik replied, fingers moving rapidly over the console. "But we'll need to be quick. Rhea, keep an eye on our shields. I want full power diverted to them," Ilara instructed. "On it, Captain," Rhea confirmed, her eyes sharp. As they moved deeper into the asteroid field, the Legacy took a moment to regain its breath. The crew felt the tension hanging in the air, but Ilara remained focused. They had faced impossible odds before. They could do it again. "Prepare for evasive maneuvers," Ilara said, her voice steady. We'll lure them into the asteroids and take them out one by one. It's time to turn this around. With every heartbeat, the crew rallied behind her command. They were not just fighting for their ship, they were fighting for humanity's future. And together, they would show the galaxy that the *US Legacy * was more than a museum piece. It was a symbol of hope, resilience, and the unyielding spirit of humankind. As the U.S. Legacy nestled deeper into the protective embrace of the asteroid field, the crew prepared for their final stand against the newly arrived Galactic reinforcements. Ilara Stone stood at the helm, her resolve as firm as the ship's hull around her. They had fought hard, and now, with the enemy closing in, it was time to turn the tide once and for all. "Captain, the enemy ships are entering the field," Malik reported, his eyes darting between the screens. "They're trying to track us, but it's chaotic with all the debris." "Good," Ilara said, a plan forming in her mind. "Let's use their confusion to our advantage. Rhea, prepare the disruptor beams. We'll take out their sensors first." "Disruptor beams are ready," Rhea replied, excitement mingling with apprehension in her voice. "We'll blind them before they can even target us." "Malik, can you keep jamming their communications? We can't afford for them to coordinate." "On it," Malik said, his fingers flying over the controls. "They won't know what hit them." Ilara took a deep breath, her gaze focused on the view screen. The approaching Galactic ships loomed larger, but they were now flanked by a maze of asteroids. The enemy had no idea what awaited them. "Once they're in range, we'll strike hard and fast," Ilara instructed. "We can't let them regroup." As the Galactic ships entered the field, their sensor systems struggled to adapt to the rocky terrain. Ilara watched intently, the tension in the air thick enough to cut with a knife. "Now," she shouted as the first enemy ship approached. The Legacy unleashed a flurry of disruptor beams, striking the Galactic vessel's sensor arrays. Explosions erupted as their targeting systems failed, leaving them vulnerable and blind. Confusion erupted among the enemy ranks, and Ilara felt a surge of triumph. "Great shot, Captain," Rhea cheered, her hands steady on the controls. "Don't let up," Ilara urged. "Let's keep them off balance." With the Galactic ships disoriented, Ilara steered the Legacy into the heart of the chaos. The crew worked in perfect harmony, each blast from their weapons system echoing their newfound confidence. One by one, the Galactic fighters fell, their arrogance shattered against the relentless spirit of humanity. But just as victory seemed within grasp, a larger Galactic ship broke through the asteroid field, its imposing form gliding smoothly as it targeted the Legacy *. Ilara's heart raced. "Rhea, shields at maximum," she commanded. "Prepare for incoming fire." "Shields up," Rhea confirmed, her eyes locked on the readouts. The enemy ship fired, and the Legacy * shuddered under the impact. Alarms blared as the shields flickered, but Ilara held her ground, refusing to back down. "Return fire. Target their weapons systems," she shouted, her voice fierce and unwavering. The crew sprang into action, focusing their fire on the looming enemy vessel. Ilara guided the Legacy around incoming blasts, her heart pounding as they fought for every inch. "Captain, the Galactic are starting to scatter," Malik announced, excitement bubbling in his voice. "They're breaking ranks. Now's our chance," Ilara yelled. "Keep pressing the attack. Let's finish what we started." With renewed vigor, the Legacy * unleashed its full might. The battle turned into a blur of lights and sound, energy beams flashing as the crew poured every ounce of their strength into their fight. Finally, with one last determined strike, Ilara aimed for the heart of the enemy ship. The Legacy * fired, a brilliant bolt of energy piercing through the darkness. Striking true, the Galactic vessel erupted in flames, illuminating the void in a breathtaking display of defiance. "Direct hit," Rhea cheered, and a wave of exhilaration washed over the crew. As the dust settled, the remaining Galactic fighters, witnessing the destruction of their command ship, began to retreat. Ilara watched as they scattered into the void, their morale shattered. "We did it," Malik shouted, his voice filled with disbelief. Ilara felt a swell of emotion rise within her. "We did," she replied, her voice thick with pride. "But it's not just us. This is for every human out there who's been underestimated." The crew erupted in cheers, their camaraderie stronger than ever. The legacy had transformed from a forgotten relic to a beacon of hope, a symbol of humanity's resilience. As they surveyed the remnants of the battle, Ilara took a deep breath, her heart swelling with pride. They had reclaimed their honor, proving to the galaxy that humanity was not to be dismissed or laughed at. "Prepare to head back to Colony 47, she commanded, her voice steady. "Let's make sure everyone is safe." The U.S. Legacy turned toward the colony, its engines humming with renewed life. The crew was no longer just a band of misfits. They were a family, united by a common purpose. As they made their way back, Ilara knew this was just the beginning. The galaxy would remember the day humanity stood up and fought back, and she was ready to lead them into whatever came next, forging a new path for all.